Tap rooms are localized and they're geographic. The Hispanic community is much broader than one tap room. So what we decided to do was come out with a high quality craft beer, 2 high quality craft beers that appeal to the Hispanic taste and that we can distribute in all the Hispanic neighborhoods. Taíno is a very light, refreshing beer. It's a social beer that you can drink probably for a good part of the evening, and it'll give you a nice light feeling. It's not a heavy beer, it's very airy, and it's very light. It's a 4.5 alcohol, which is low for beer. The Boricua is a 6.0. Now that's a stronger beer, and we designed it to be a little bit stronger than Heineken. Heineken is a favorite in the Hispanic community, so we have a little bit more muscle than Heineken. Boricua right now, in a very short amount of time, it's been a miracle for us because we've gotten a large range of acceptance at the retail level. We're in Publix, we're in ABC, Target is picking it up, we're in Sedano's, we're in Bravo's, 7-Elevens are picking it up because they're concentrating more on craft beer and the Hispanic market. So what we're trying to do is do a quality beer, a high quality beer, more taste, and that the Hispanic community will like.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Latina Role Models. This is Margie Vieira. We're presenting the show today with Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Metro Orlando. We have a very special guest today in our show. Her name is Carla Muñiz. She's the Senior Director of Florida Hospital and the current chair of the Board of Directors of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the show,
Thank
Carla.
you. Thank you for having me.
You know, in our show, we celebrate and highlight the accomplishments of Latina entrepreneurs and those leaders that support them, the game changers that create the opportunities for Latina-owned businesses here in Central Florida. And also those thriving Latinas who are executives throughout Central Florida. And you are one of them. You are truly the definition of a Latina role model in our community.
Thank you.
So we have many questions for you.
Okay.
Many questions. In the many roles that you have, you know, from being the Senior Director of Human Resources at a big organization such as the Florida Hospital, and that great responsibility and the many challenges that you face in your role. In addition to that, your volunteerism with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. You've been a champion for many years, and this year you have a very important role. You're the chair of this beautiful organization, but you're also a wife and a mother of a beautiful child.
Thank you.
How do you make everything happen? How do you keep that balance?
Right.
How do you do it?
So definitely with a network of family members, friends who are extremely supportive, and that starts with a husband that wholeheartedly believes that I just can't stay put, and that I'm passionate about this community and the work that I do for Florida Hospital. So just very supportive in terms of having to come together and decide where you need to be, where do I need to be. So lots and lots of planning and strategizing. At the same time, really never forgetting what's really important, and that is your loved ones. At the same time, and you alluded to it, as women, sometimes we're hard on ourselves as Latino executives or entrepreneurs. We feel like, you know, we have to give 100% of ourselves to everyone and sometimes forget about us. So really, as being very disciplined and making sure that I take time to make sure that I myself am well, so I can give 100% of myself to others. And that means by eating, not forgetting to eat. So eating well.
Eating well.
Absolutely, that's important. Not just eating, eating well.
At
the same time, just feeding my spirituality. So feel like either, you know, go to church or feel connected with my God. And at the same time, exercising. It's an excellent stress reliever. And honestly, I made a point over a year ago to plan ahead the days that I am going to leave the office on time.
Yes.
So I can get to a workout class for 1 hour, twice a week, but that I consider that to be me time. I consider it a time that is going to allow me just to stay stronger, to manage stress. And by the time I come home, then it's quality time with my husband and my daughter, where we can have dinner together, and spend, you know, just some nice time at the end of our day as a family. But it takes planning and strategizing.
And strategizing, and that's strategizing. You have to be flexible with the planning and the strategizing as well, because I understand where you come from. Thank you so much for sharing, because you know, I know that many women out there say, wow, senior role in a big organization, a lot of volunteering time, also a mother, also, where does she drop the ball? Well, we don't have to drop the ball. We just don't have to be 100% perfect at everything.
At everything.
Just be flexible and understand that we do need to make time for all those priorities. That's wonderful. So, and then you mentioned that your husband is a big supporter, and also you have a big group of supporters,
family and friends that also help.
So, and that's always great, and that's helpful. But I would like to know, and for you to share with everybody here watching the show tonight, who else has played an important role in your professional development? And in your personal development, have you had any mentors, any sponsors that have helped you and guide you and help you build your career and who you are today, both as a professional, but also as a woman and as a community leader?
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you that early on in my career, I learned the value of an exceptional mentor. And in life, I tell you that I have been fortunate to learn to quickly identify those women who inspire me, those women that I can only dream to achieve a certain level of success like they do. And ultimately, I've reached out to them, asked them if they would give me their time of day and consider to mentor me, and I have been blessed by them accepting that particular invitation. Now I'm in a position where I actually get to mentor others, and as I am coaching my team, I always like to instill the importance of having mentors in life. And I tell you, you don't have to have just one mentor. You could have many mentors for many different reasons. You could have a mentor that is able to help you when it comes to dealing with difficult relationships with people at work or at home. Or it could be a mentor that is actually helping you walk through you considering a career change, or taking a risk in your business as an entrepreneur, and really helping you walk through what is going to be the best path for you. It could be for any other reasons that you could identify a mentor that you need for in a particular aspect in life. So I am wholeheartedly an advocate for finding mentors, and that could be more than one, and really investing on that relationship, because their advice will be so valuable.
When someone makes of their busy schedule to contribute to your life, it is so powerful.
Agree.
And it just builds. It does nothing more than build. Because then, you know, if you're a grateful person and you see, wow, you know, this person took time to just listen to me, my little problem that I thought was huge, just by sharing it with this person, you know, allowed me to see it clearly and to find a clear path. So, so you've said you've had mentors and that they've helped you significantly in your professional growth. Any message that you want to send out to women aspiring to leadership roles, anything that you think that might be valuable in their careers or in developing their businesses now that they're going to manage teams, or that they're going to be, you know, maybe just doing things on their own? How can they cope with all those responsibilities? If there's any special advice that you would like to give to them?
Absolutely. And I tell you that as leaders, that carries a lot of weight, because the decisions that you make would impact others. So you can't take the role of leader for granted. And with that said, I'll probably point out two specific learned lessons now, advice in that I would want to leave the viewer with. And the first one is that excellent leaders, great leaders, just not average leaders, but great leaders, strike the perfect balance between being very much results driven and very much metrics driven, while not forgetting how important it is to do that with a team that is motivated, while not forgetting those people in that relationship that ultimately gets people to help you achieve those goals. So many times as women, we feel this pressure for having to be all about the numbers and results oriented. And may at times forget that as a leader, you're very seldom going to accomplish that by yourself. And that is going to actually take you coming with the rest of the team. And by doing so, you need to very much then strike that balance on having to work with the team, inspire them, motivate them, empower them, so that way they can help you achieve those goals.
Collaboration.
Absolutely, collaboration is very important, and that's at times difficult to do. That's where the essence of a great leader makes its mark, leaves their legacy. The other thing that I also want to mention, which I think is very important, is the value of providing very specific, clear and concise feedback. I'm a strong believer that feedback is a gift. And as leaders, it's so important that we are able to articulate to someone perhaps where they see shortcomings or provide coaching in order for them to succeed, grow as a professional or in their personal life. And that at the same time, as you are being that giver of the feedback, and at times it may be tough feedback to hear, that you do it in a way that inspires and motivates that person to do better. Right. And with that said, that as the feedback is given, that you don't forget that it's that gift that's given to you, that you actually are open for receiving it and taking it from there.
I had an experience once with a dear friend and mentor, and it's funny because he would give you feedback, sometimes not so positive feedback, not what you wanted to hear.
Right.
But he did it in such a way that just got you excited about, fixing the problem or figuring things out.
Right.
And I always remember that I would say, thank you so much for telling me that, because I would have never saw that coming.
Right.
So it's good to, like you said, it's that balance of, knowing how to give the feedback.
Right.
And then knowing how to receive it on your own.
Right.
Because it goes both ways.
Exactly.
In leadership.
Right. And as leaders, I think we're called to do that time and time again.
Yes.
And at times, based on your role and position, it may just, be very impactful to that individual. So again, the delivery is key. It's very, very important.
In other conversations you've made, we've had before, you've said that that the way the leader delivers that message either makes it or breaks it with someone.
That's true.
And that is truly very important, to be very sensible in that sense.
Right.
So, and then I have another question. As the chair of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, what do you foresee are ways in which the Chamber is aligned to supporting Latina entrepreneurs and professionals in our community? Because the Chamber plays a very important role in developing these Latina-owned women businesses.
Right.
So what do you think?
Yeah. And I tell you, I'm very passionate about this. Definitely a proponent of girl power.
Yes.
And really, as the chair of the board, just making sure that the chamber empowers women to be courageous and get out there and be excellent entrepreneurs while we are providing a platform, while we become this conduit where you become a member of our chamber and you very quickly feel like you have this network of over 1,700 members where you're able to network, collaborate, do business with, learn and grow. So as a chamber, not only do we want to very much be the voice of the Hispanic community, but at the same time that we're able to provide to you the resources that you need to help you navigate through being a business leader. There are so many things that you have to learn and so many unknowns and stuff like that. So provide you those resources or allow you to connect with someone that perhaps has the information or the experience that you need. At the same time that we provide networking opportunities in order for you to be able to share your services or your business. And for example, we have leads groups. And these particular leads groups are able to provide such a significant impact, millions of dollars every year on economic development for Central Florida. And so I invite these, Latino entrepreneurs to get out there, join our chamber, and become very much involved, for example, through our leads groups. I was recently made aware of a success story related to our supplier and diversity program. It's a program that has been well established, and Hispanic business owner, woman, joined the chamber, very quickly became connected to our board and at the same time to the supplier and diversity group. And today she has a business relationship with a Fortune 500 company.
Wow.
Through the supplier and diversity committee.
And that's truly my experience with the chamber. It has been my experience with the chamber. People really do get involved
Absolutely.
and really do open those doors and create those opportunities. So empowered women truly become drivers of both social and economic change, and we have those type of leaders in our chamber.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you
for sharing
for having me.
Your personal experiences on leadership with us. I'm sure they're very valuable to our viewers. They're certainly valuable to me. And we are so grateful that you were here and lucky to have you at the chamber. So thank you so much for your time. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next Tuesday at 10 at Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Latina Role Models on Channel 194 on Spectrum.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Hello, welcome to Latina Role Models. I'm Maribeth Gonzalez. I am an attorney here in Central Florida. I practice family law, and today we have a very special guest. We have Julia Francis. She is 15 years old, and she is an honor high school student. Among that, she also is an award recipient, and it's very impressive. So I'm going to read out her awards before we start our interview. So Julia has been studying Taekwondo since she's 6. She is a certified black belt under the International Taekwondo Federation. She earned a gold medal at the Puerto Rico World Championship, gold medal at Disney World Olympic Taekwondo Championship. She's undefeated at the International Taekwondo Federation, and she represented the United States in the Olympic style Taekwondo at the Costa Rica Open and earned a bronze medal. In 2011, she earned a bronze medal on a fractured leg as she represented the United States in the International Taekwondo Federation World Cup Championship in Jamaica. And she's now scheduled to travel California at the end of April to complete the 2017 International Taekwondo Federation Nationals. And I am so sorry and I apologize, but I had to read that. But as you can see, this is a busy teenager, and we are grateful to have her here as a Latina role model today. So, Julia, tell me a little bit. Let's talk about what drew you to Taekwondo?
So my dad had started Taekwondo, and then he was like, okay, well, let's get into it. So I said, okay, let's get into it. So we started in the Bronx when I was 6, and that's really where I started the passion. I was in New York. I was growing up, I was like, I really like this, and I really want to do this in the future. Like, I want to go to the Olympics. I want to win all the time. And so we came here, and we did tournaments. We traveled to Costa Rica, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, and a bunch of states. And it's been pretty great.
So has there been challenges around during this time? Have you ever wanted to quit, gotten up in the morning and said, I don't want to practice?
I had injured my leg in July at the World Taekwondo Federation Nationals. And I was like, okay, that's it for me. Like, I'm not doing this anymore because I can't do it. I'm never going to be the same. My legs aren't going to be the same. It's not going to, I'm going to give out any minute in the tournament. And so I'm not going to do it anymore. He was like, okay, well, let's take a break and we'll see what happens, you know, after 6 months. I was like, no, I still don't want to do it. I still don't trust myself. And I wanted to stop, you know. And then I got back into it. And after I placed bronze in Jamaica at the World Cup, I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. That was my last tournament. Like, I was bronze. I wanted to be first. I don't want to do it anymore. So there were many times that I thought of quitting, but my dad has motivated me to keep going.
Okay, so you train with your dad?
I do.
Is that what you do?
Mm-hmm.
So do you have time for boys?
I don't have time for boys. I don't, no.
No time for boys.
No time.
Okay, so what are your future goals? What are you looking to do in the near future? And I
Well,
understand you're 15, but
I know. So I would like to become a pediatric surgeon. You know, on top of being an Olympic gold medalist, of course, but I want to go into the medical field in the future.
and how do you find time to train in between school and everything else as a teenager?
So when I come home, I immediately start my homework because I have AP classes and honors classes and college classes. So I come home and I immediately start up my homework. And it's right after I do my homework because I finish homework at about 6 and then I'm in the garage training. And then on weekends, early in the morning, running and walking and jogging and doing ab exercises and training with my dad. And so it's usually right after school and on weekends.
So do you have to have a strict diet or anything?
I do. I can't have, you know, fatty food, candy, chocolate, none of that. I have to be chicken, shrimp, salad.
So do you cook or who cooks? Your parents
My
cook?
dad
or
and
your-
mom cook.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it seems like you have a very supportive mother and father.
Yes.
Is that so? Okay. And you also do other things in the community besides Taekwondo with your parents.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So in the community, we kind of, I kind of like to incorporate Taekwondo with everything that I do. So in the community, we've gathered some children together and we started a Taekwondo class. So they'll come on Sundays and I'll teach them some self-defense techniques. I'll teach them basic kicks, basic punches, blocks, and that's what my Sundays consist of, and incorporating Taekwondo. And we've also have Life Fit, and it's when we would go out to other communities and we'll talk to children that are being bullied, and we'll teach them, of course, self-defense techniques and how to stay positive throughout the tough times that they're going through.
So I remember seeing you at an event for Children Without Borders. Your father and you were there, correct?
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about that event and how you felt and what that consisted of that day?
Okay, so that event, we had about 15 children from the community. They came and we talked to them. I talked to them about myself and what I do and how I got started. And we taught them that bullying is, one, not okay, and then how to sort of get out of bullying and their self-defense techniques, and, you know, blocks, kicks, and what to do if they're approached by a bully or in any dangerous situation. And I felt pretty good after that because I'm teaching kids how to defend themselves, so that way in the near future when, you know, something happens, they know what to do and their back's not against the wall and they're just stuck and frozen and nothing can't happen to them. So I felt like inspiration after that.
You did. And have you ever been bullied?
I was bullied in elementary school.
Can you share that with us?
It was 3rd through 5th grade, and I remember one incident. I used to have a unibrow, so they would always make fun of my unibrow, and they'd call it ugly, and I was like, okay, I can't really do anything about it because, you know, I was 3rd grader, now wanting to get my eyebrows done. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to get rid of this unibrow, and I had shaved my eyebrows. So of course there was...
Oh, goodness.
Back then I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I have no eyebrows. Now they're going to make fun of me even more. And so I was made fun of after that. And, you know, elementary schoolers, it wasn't anything major like, you know, like being shoved in lockers or anything. It was just like, they call you stupid, they call you ugly and retarded. And, you know, it's not as bad as it is today. But I mean, it still hurt growing up as a child because you start to believe that. You start to look at me and be like, oh wow, yeah, my nose is really big, it's really ugly. And it's like, you don't want to go anywhere, you don't want to do anything because they're telling you all this stuff and you're like, okay, well, is that how other people see me too? Or, you know, so throughout elementary school, that was one of my main struggles.
So was that one of your passions, or did that drive you to do Taekwondo? How do you feel when you're doing Taekwondo?
When I'm doing Taekwondo, it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but I would say bullying did have an effect on Taekwondo because it made me want to, you know, okay, well, these kids are talking, I'll finally give them something to talk about, so I'm gonna do this, like I'm gonna defend myself. I'm not gonna let anyone else pick on me. And that's what kind of, it drove me. Like the bullying and everything, it was like, okay, well, you're being bullied, so now you have to learn how to defend yourself, you have to learn how to speak up for yourself and protect yourself. So that was the main reason why I kept going in Taekwondo.
So I've spoken to you out of camera, so what it seems is like you've never been physical with someone or hurt someone out of Taekwondo, but using Taekwondo gave you that drive and that belief in yourself, and you talked about self-esteem and image. So is that what you try to instill in the kids when you try to help them with your father? Yeah,
I try to let them know that, like, no matter what anyone says, that they are like their own person, they're unique and they're beautiful and they're loved and they're exquisite. I try to let them know that, and so that they need to have that self-respect and that self-esteem, because no one should be able to talk anyone down. Like I've never liked that. You tell someone that they're ugly, no, you don't do that. So I try to teach these kids to love themselves and respect themselves.
So it seems like you spent a lot of time with your father with regards to the athleticism and with regards to the bullying. But tell me a little bit about your mother. How has she affected your life?
My mom has been like my best friend. Like no matter like what happens with me, she's always like right by my side. Like I'll be like crying and she's right there. And you know, I'll be losing a fight. She's like, it's okay, you're trying your best, like it's okay. So she's really like my ride or die. She's like my everything. And she's also played a big part in this, because if it wasn't for her, I probably would have given up too.
So what message would you tell a teenager or a young person that is probably facing some challenges and might not be believing in themselves right now?
I would definitely say to stay strong, because your darkest hour comes before your dawn. And you have to stay strong, and you have to be optimistic about everything, because pain is never permanent. And you have to keep going. You can't give up, and you can't stop. So just stay strong and everything will work out.
Okay. And how can people in Central Florida reach out to you? Let's say a teenager is in high school around the area is looking for someone to confide in. Would they be able to speak with you, or would you be willing to offer your time to do Taekwondo with someone or teach them your techniques?
Yes, they can reach out to me through my parents. We own a business, and I can give them the email. And it's naturarelegance2016@gmail.com. And we also have a Facebook. It's called Natural Elegance Hair Salon.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing your story with us, and you are an inspiration to all young Latinas. So thank you for being with us tonight at Latina Role Models. We will see you next week on Spectrum at this same time.